Mobb Deep. Anyhow, welcome on this. Yeah, it's a new. Yeah, told you we was coming to Tuesday, so here we are. I feel the need for speed. Double in the building, and Chris again is on assignment, so he will not be joining me today. But I'm sure he'll be chiming in somewhere, somehow, some way, as he's doing other duties, if you will. But nonetheless, I still got Quan59 in the building, who is who is still in mourning about his Lakers blowing a 20-point lead in Game 2 last night, even though they played very well for about 45 of those 48 minutes.
That was a bad loss. I would have rather had a blowout.
Really?
Oh, yeah. You always want a blowout instead of a close loss like that.
But is it now getting inside their head that they've lost to them 10 straight times?
Of course. The same way every time. They've had leads in all these games. Big leads, double-digit leads. So it's very frustrating because when they were up 20, I said they were going to lose still.
Really?
Yeah, I wasn't confident with the 20-point lead.
Wow.
Yeah, they play the same way every time. They get happy with their lead and start playing a different way than they were playing.
So let me ask this question as my co-host will be, I do have a special guest joining us today. He'll be arriving momentarily. But why did they go away from feeding Anthony Davis the ball in the second half? Because he was he was cooking in the first half.
Well, they stopped the pick and roll between him and LeBron that was, killing it. Eating Denver alive with that play. And they stop. It's bad coaching. I've said it all along. I don't like Darvin Ham. He doesn't know how to make adjustments.
You've made that clear, absolutely. Yes,
the same thing happened last year. I think it was an overtime game where Lakers were up big. They end up coming back, going into, Denver scores the last minute again to send it into overtime. And Darvin Ham keeps all the players in, even though they're huffing and puffing. Austin Reeves, D'Angelo, they keep all the same players in the fourth quarter when they're tired. I think Lakers had left the game with 2 timeouts still. Which, why are you not calling the timeout that last play? And why is LeBron shooting a 3? I don't think that's the play that's called. But
even though he had an open look?
He had an open look, but there was still time on the shot clock, and you wanted to get that clock down a little more too. Open look, if you would have made it, it would have been great. I'm not mad at LeBron. Killed it in that game. He was tearing it up in the fourth.
It seemed like he was the only one making shots down the stretch.
Yeah, he was. But also, he might have taken that 3 because he was going to the basket, getting fouled every single time, and they only called 1. And then
that seems to be a theme in these playoffs with the referees.
Yeah,
the officiating, needless to say, has been atrocious. It went that way to far as baseball because I was watching the Yankees and A's in the morning, and of course Aaron Boone.
Yesterday
got ejected.
That was so weird
for not saying a word.
So weird.
Like it's the fan above him, to which he was wearing a jacket. He takes the jacket off so he doesn't be recognized. But Henry Wintelstad, of course, his father Harry was a long-time, well-respected baseball umpire. But I mean, it's just rare because he wasn't questioning if Ruiz got hit by the pitch. He was asking, did he go around? Which it looked like he might have did.
Yeah.
Which of course, if he swung before the ball hit by pitch, it's null and void, and it'll be called a strike. Yes, Will Franklin, we are back live again. How are you? Welcome.
Share the live stream, Will.
Share the live stream. Subscribe, but more importantly, subscribe. So yeah, we're talking about the horrible officiating. Lakers blowing a 20-point lead. The 76ers mad as hell. Going down 2-0 to the Knicks last night, which was another fantastic game between those two. That has been a fantastic series, but clearly, yes.
And it doesn't help when the NBA comes out and says Maxey got fouled twice.
Now again, and normally I don't sympathize with LeBron, but I do agree. What the hell do we have a replay center for if they're not getting it right? Because I mean, here's the thing:
or if they're not using it at the right time. If you're going to use it for certain things, use it all the time for big moments in big games.
If you're in the league offices in New Jersey, where the replay center is, there should be some type of way you can buzz the lead official and be like, we need to stop play because clearly, as you can see in slow motion, Tyrese Maxey's jersey was grabbed. I mean, the guy was, being bear hugged, for lack of a better term, which, by the way, congratulations to Tyrese Maxey for winning NBA Most Improved Player. Congratulations to him. He has definitely improved in his years in the league. But I mean, it's just now, again, we're not saying that's the reason why the 76ers lost, but it did play a part. But these so-called 2-minute reports, which makes no sense, because all that's going to do is just infuriate the team. I mean, Embiid was furious last night, and it showed.
Yep.
Which, again, that we're not taking anything away from the Knicks. Knicks played a heck of a game.
Knicks did what they had to do.
Played a heck of a game. Knicks controlled the offensive rebounds again, which has seemed to be a problem for Philly in this series. Of course, we all know Embiid is fully not 100%. So, in a sense, Embiid is going on one leg, and he's still, putting up 25 plus a game and getting a double-double. But some might say in order for the Knicks to win the series, they had to win the first two and held serve at the Garden, which they did. However, things might change a little bit going to Philly. Now, if I think the Lakers are going to get one game in the series, it might be in Game 3. If they don't get Game 3, I think it ends in a sweep. But I think if there's a time for them to get a game, it might be Game 3 because they should be furiously upset and be like, we, in a sense, gave it away, which they did.
They did. And even blaming the refs, and that does turn momentum. Like when D'Angelo got fouled in the third, they were up 10. He would have made 2 free throws for 12 to go up 12, which was a weird play. They called it a foul, then they replayed it, said it wasn't a foul when it was still a foul, even though the ball's not in his hand. He got hit in the head. It shouldn't matter. It doesn't matter if the ball's in your hand. It happens all the time, and they call fouls on that. So I didn't understand that. But Lakers, you can't lose a 20-point lead.
No.
It doesn't matter
No.
what the refs are doing.
No.
When you're up 20 in the third quarter, you have to win that game. And it does go back. It goes on the players, but it also goes on coaching because there's certain coaches like Popovich, Phil Jackson. They would know to call timeouts at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
They would make those adjustments.
If they feel momentum is slipping away, they would stop it right there.
And they would pull whoever their best player is if they're not playing good for 5 minutes to be and put someone else in that's going to be fresh and be able to run things the right way. So you can't lose a 20-point lead in the playoffs.
No, but at the same time, Hachimura, I need you to go more than 1 for 7. Reeves, I need you to go more than just 4 from 11 shooting from the field. I mean,
Reeves is trying to get himself traded. That's all I'm saying.
You think
he'll definitely get traded if he doesn't step up and they get swept in the first round.
Like Spencer Dinwiddie, where are you? Gabe Vincent, where are you? I mean, I gave the Lakers credit, which just grinds my gears to do. But when they signed Gabe Vincent, I mean, Gabe Vincent was a key piece in Miami getting to the finals last year. And I just feel like he's just hasn't been used. And then, I mean, Spencer Dinwiddie.
Well, he's been hurt all year.
Well, that doesn't help. That doesn't help either.
He led the league in steals, stole a lot of money from the Lakers. But I'm never hyped up on signing players that were hot in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen it happen before. Jerome James, he played for Seattle Supersonics, had 4 really good games against the Sacramento Kings. The Knicks signed him to a huge deal.
Well,
and he was trash after that. But
that's James Dolan being James Dolan.
I'm not into the hype signings of you had 2 good series in the playoffs and we didn't know who you were before then and let's sign you to a big contract. But he is a good defensive player. I mean, but he hasn't played enough to even be in game shape.
Well, in addition, the Cavaliers held serve on home court. They won last night over the Magic by 10, 96-86, as the Spider Donovan Mitchell led with 23 for the Cavaliers.
That series goes back to Cleveland 2-2.
You think
Orlando ties it
You think the Magic win the next 2 games at home?
Yeah, they're going to be hyped up.
Well, yeah, the crowd's going to be hyped up. First time in a long time that Orlando has seen playoff basketball. And certainly it's the first playoff game, I think, in their new building since they moved there. Right now, the T-Wolves holding on to a 1-point lead as we come nearing the end of the first quarter. What troubles me about this series is very simple. The Suns really have no bench to speak of, and that really played a huge bite in Game 1 when the T-Wolves won 120-95 over Phoenix as they just scored right before the buzzer with about 1 second left, and they will end the first quarter with a 24-21 lead over Phoenix. Pacers and Bucks about to play at 5:30. The Bucks, despite the fact that Dame went scoreless in the second half, got the win in Game 1 on Sunday, 109-94. Clippers decisively beating the Mavericks on Sunday in Game 1. We will see what happens tonight in Game 2. That game is at 7 on TNT. The Pacers and Bucks, by the way, are on NBA TV at 5:30, and they're giving Milwaukee 1.5 to perhaps go back up 1 or try to go up 2 games to none. Last night, it certainly paid that the captain was back in the ice for the Golden Knights as they defend their Stanley Cup title with a win last night, 4-3 over the Stars, as Stone got the first goal and deflected the last attempt for a goal by the Stars in the last few seconds of the third period to secure the 4-3 win. Maple Leafs beat the Bruins by a final score of 3-2 in game number 2, and that series is even going back to Toronto, Ontario, Canada, and the Hurricanes up 2-0 on the Islanders, 5-3 as they won in game 2. And last night, the Kings had no answers for the Edmonton Oilers in the Wayne Gretzky Cup between the Kings and the Oilers. Oilers win that by a final score of 7-4, and currently right now, Rangers and Caps tied 2-2 inside the Mecca at the Garden, which kudos to the grounds crew at Madison Square Garden, turning that from court to ice in less than 24 hours. In the Battle of Florida, the defending Eastern Conference champions, the Panthers up 2-0 on the Lightning. That's late in the first period. Jets and Avalanche coming up at 6:30 on ESPN. And on the Deuce in Vancouver, British Columbia, Nashville Predators take on the Canucks. That's at 7 p.m. Real quickly, around the diamond in Major League Baseball right now, the Yankees up on the A's 4-3. That's in the 5th. Cardinals up 1-0 on the Diamondbacks. That's in the 3rd. Guardians playing some very good baseball. Stephen Vogt doing some good things, managing the Guardians up 4-1 on the Red Sox. That's in the 8th. In the 6th, Pirates up 2-0 on the Brewers. Reds up 5-1 on the Phillies in the 5th. Nationals lead the Dodgers 1-0 in the 6th. Tigers up 1-0 on the Rays. That's in the 6th. Braves up 2-0 against the Marlins. That's in the 5th. White Sox and Twins 1-0 Twinkies over the Shy Sox. That's in the 3rd. Cubs up 5-0 on the Astros. That's in the 2nd. And breaking news, Kawhi is available for Game 2. We'll see what his knees will give him going tonight in Game 2 against the Mavericks. Of course, his Clippers are up 1-0 in that series. Royals, Blue Jays scoreless in the 3rd. Rangers down 2-0 to the Mariners. That's in the 1st. And later on, Mets and the Giants, Padres and the Rockies, Angels and the Orioles to nightcap the evening in Major League Baseball. Now, let's see when is my co-host going to join me here.
And you were talking about changing the court to the ice. It was there was a Knights game last Sunday at 12:30 in the afternoon at T-Mobile, and UFC had just ended at 11 o'clock at night. So they turned it around super quick.
Oh, did they?
Going from UFC to putting that ice down for the Knights game at 12:30 in the afternoon the next day.
No, I mean, when you have a multi-purpose arena, like most NBA and NHL arenas are, especially Madison Square Garden, it takes a lot of work to do that, to change that from a hardwood floor to an ice rink. But
I love seeing the time-lapse videos that they put out for those too.
I mean, it's the same thing when they used to convert football teams or baseball to football and vice versa. It's pretty...
So glad they don't do that anymore.
Not anymore.
I hated watching Raider games with the baseball diamond still there.
Well, now, the funny thing about this is when we were kids, normally it was the sign of two things. When you start seeing infield dirt on a football field, that meant two things. Summer's about to be over. Yeah. And it's time to go back to school. that for us, that was our sign about, okay,
that was it.
Fun time's over, time to go back. All right. I think my co-host is ready to make an appearance. Are you there?
Give me a second, I gotta.
All right. Well, while I wait for my co-host, 702-608-3259, 702-608-3259, if you want to come in and talk some ish with us as we're covering playoffs galore with the NBA, the Stanley Cup, NFL draft in 48 hours in Detroit, Michigan. Oh, and one thing I got to say, Denver Broncos, what the hell? With the exception of you guys bringing back the 1977 Orange Crush jerseys in which you made your first Super Bowl appearance in, what are you doing? Those jerseys are hideous.
I thought you were talking about Zach Wilson.
Well, there's that too. Start anew, new start. He's in the altitude. I don't know what Sean Payton could do with him. And joining me, my very special guest, who normally he would be at work right now. How did I know you were not going to wear that shirt? How did I not know that? Ladies and gentlemen, my brother from another and co-host of the Mizzle and Dub Show on the Mizzle and Dub Show YouTube channel, my very good esteemed colleague, Mr. Raymond Mizzle Mason. Brother, thank you again for coming on and co-hosting. Appreciate you.
Oh, of course. Anytime that I can help out.
Okay, so I know you want to talk about the BS that involved your beloved Sixers, so go ahead. The floor is yours.
As much as I want to sit here and say it was the referees, it kind of wasn't. It was the same thing that happened in game one. We couldn't grab a defensive rebound and save our lives. I mean, I forget what's that Harden something. That man was everywhere.
Hardenstein.
That man was everywhere. And in the critical situation to where Brunson missed that three and he got that rebound, that's how they won the game. Yeah, the Maxey jersey got grabbed, this, that, and the third, but they were up 4 points with seconds left in the game.
So here's my question. Yes. If they wanted to call timeout now, you notice how in the NFL you see head coaches running towards the referee to signal timeout. Yes. Why has that become kind of sort of not common in basketball? Just be like, hey, I want to call timeout. Like, what's the issue with that?
That's a very good question. I will go with saying that maybe some of them are feared that they might cross that line and get that technical, and they don't want to hurt their team per se. But I think they should take the initiative and still do that. But then again, Nick Nurse was calling a timeout. They said Embiid was calling a timeout. It was a few Sixers trying to call the timeout.
You saw Batum trying to call a timeout also.
So how do you miss that? Is where I'm getting at. So not purposely blaming the refs on that. They're human, as I use the quotes on that, but they missed some calls on both sides. I'm not saying they missed calls on my Sixers too, but it was a few calls that the Sixers got away with. So I guess down the line they played it fair.
Well, so what has to change as now the scene shifts from the Mecca over to Philadelphia inside the Wells Fargo Center? What has to change for Philly to get back into the series, which many people still think is going to go 7 games?
I would need the referees to give the Sixers the 2 games that they cost the 1 game that they lost it. That's exactly what I need. No, but on some real stuff, better defense. Get the defensive rebound. Make the better pass and figure out where the mismatch is, because there's some mismatches down there. Mm-hmm. You got to take advantage when Jalen Brunson is not making shots, because he's yet not to get off on.
He has not shot the ball well in this series at all. You're right.
And he will. And so we missed those 2 opportunities to at least take 1. I didn't expect them to go to win 2 games. I just wanted 1. So now it gets a little tougher. Yeah, we're going to need some help from the referees. Nah, jokes aside. But I will also say it was excellent defense by, say that guy's name, Hartner what again?
Hardenstein.
When Maxey went to the rack, he blocked that shot. Normally, Maxey easily gets that bucket. So he means he hung with Maxey's speed and to get up there and jump with him. So just to jump back to that game real quick to say that. But they got to play. The offense was there. Even on a one-legged Embiid, he still almost had 40 points. Maxey had over 30. Harris played a decent game, better than game 1, but I need him stepping up a little bit more. Where was Oubre? I didn't too much hear about him. And I like the energy Lowry is bringing. I just need a little bit more. He has to make those open shots a little bit more. But his defense is there. But no, really, we need the referees.
Well, game 3 in Philadelphia is taking place on Thursday. And then tomorrow it's game 2 of Boston, Miami, and Pelicans Thunder game 2. In a sense, are the Lakers done?
Do you want me my professional answer, or do you want the fandom answer?
Well, I already know the fandom answer, but give me your analysis answer.
I think I agree with you. They might still win in LA. I don't think it'd be I think it might be game 3, because they're going to come off what LeBron, which LeBron was right. D. Lou got fouled. Mm-hmm. I mean, you get smacked in the face. That's an instant foul. Mm-hmm. So they might come off that game. But then again, can you trust them? They were up 20. That foul was not the reason why they lost that game.
Correct.
That missed call. You were up 20.
Now, here's my thing. Now, of course, Anthony Davis was quoted saying that I should be Defensive Player of the Year. I'm the best defender in the league. If that's the case,
that shot.
That too, but if that's the case, There's a guy that gets up out of his sleep, as you say, and says, "You know what? I'm just going to get one today," and he got one last night. You got to stop that man in the paint. If you want to be considered to be the defensive player of the year and you want to call yourself the best defender in the league,
That is very true. I do not disagree with that at all.
And not to mention, I don't think Jamal Murray is going to go 9 for 24 shooting in Game 3. No, they've lived on the edge with that, and then he gets hot in the fourth quarter, scoring 14. Yeah, he got hot in the fourth quarter, scoring 14, but he's due for a very good shooting game because we know what he's capable of doing in those New Balance basketball tennis shoes that he wears. But just as you was talking about what's going on in games too, just in, Kawhi Leonard will play after missing the last 9 with the knee injury. How will that help or may not help the Clippers tonight in Game 2 as Dallas tries to even this series?
Well, it'd be an added boost because they won without him.
Correct.
Maybe that'd take a little off Harden, but I don't see the Mavericks going out. I think the Mavericks would take this one.
So you're saying it's even? So you say it's going to be even going back to Dallas?
I would think this would be the one game that a road team will win. Because pretty much it's been a shutout. All home teams have won so far.
Well, right
now that Phoenix is up 5,
yeah,
the second quarter.
But Phoenix has no bench, and
exactly.
and that issue was very, very put to light in Game 1 against Minnesota.
Oh yeah, yes, yeah. So yeah, I think the Mavericks might pull this one out.
Now, 5'9" said he says that the Magic will bring it back to Cleveland 2-2. Do you feel that way about Orlando and Cleveland, considering that Cleveland is up 2-0?
So will Orlando's going to take the next 2 games at home?
Well, one person believes that. I mean, I know it's the first time in a long time that Orlando will have playoff basketball. You know, the fans will be into it. And we know sometimes in the playoffs, the fan base can will you to at least one win in a playoff series. What says you in regards to this series as it is heading back to the Magic Kingdom? That is Disney.
You know that I've been. I call it.
They've been your sleep. They've been your sleeper team all year long. Yes, they have.
But Cleveland is playing some good basketball right now. I just don't know what got into them. Like the offense is feeding off the defense, and the defense is feeding off the offense, and it seems like they just know what to do and how to defend Orlando. But I agree with you, the fans will get you one game. So I do seeing Orlando getting one. I wouldn't be shocked if they get 2 because they can turn it on at any moment and just play tremendous basketball. I think the nerves might be a little up right now. Being home might calm them down to get them to play their type of basketball. But that's gonna be tough. So I think they'll get 1, and I wouldn't be shocked if they get 2.
Well, considering as you and I both know, I mean, normally role players play better at home during the playoffs. That seems about always 99.9% of the time correct and true. So you got to figure Bayless Suggs will have a better game shooting at home as he has in the first 2 games in Cleveland. You got to expect that. You got to expect that Bonchero will have another solid game, and Wagner will have another solid game for Orlando. I'm pretty sure they will shoot the ball better at home as they haven't in Cleveland these first 2 games. So, I mean, home court does play a difference so far. Home court has served. Now, how do you see Pacers-Bucks game 2, considering that Dame went for 35 in the first half, shut out in the second half, but nonetheless, it seemed like Milwaukee cruised easily to a victory over Indiana. What do you expect tonight as it's just now getting underway in Milwaukee for game 2?
Now, did it seem like that Milwaukee used all that energy in the first half and just coasted in the second half?
I mean, some might say that possibly happened. That could give, yeah.
I don't see that happening again. Indiana make it competitive, but I believe Dame Time might close it out just because he had that good first half, and I think that it'll be so competitive that he won't have to do like that 35 he did in the first half. That he'll be He'll get his, but I believe Dame Time might close it out in the fourth quarter. Milwaukee might go home 2-0.
Well, I will.
Especially if Halliburton doesn't have a good game. He
That's
has to
correct.
have a good game for them to.
He has
for
to
that.
he has to complement what Siakam did in game one because Siakam was fantastic.
Yes.
Siakam was fantastic.
Yes.
36 points.
Siakam's gonna show up. You know how I feel about Siakam.
Yeah.
He crushed my soul twice in 1 year.
That is true. Well, I always said that I think he should have been the Finals MVP in 2019 and not Kawhi Leonard. I mean, I understand why they gave it to Kawhi, but Siakam was the difference in 2019 when the Raptors beat the Warriors for the Raptors to win their first NBA title. I mean, Siakam is going to be a very sought-after free agent in this summer of free agency in the NBA. So real quickly, we go to tomorrow's games. Only just 2 games on the NBA playoff slate. It's the Heat Celtics game 2, and maybe the best game out of the weekend, one of the best games out of the weekend in game 1 between the Pelicans and Thunder, which was the 94-92 score. How do you see game 2 between Miami and Boston and Thunder Pelicans? Mizzle, can you hear me?
Yeah, excuse me, my internet took a crap for a second. It does its reloading stuff every once in a while. I apologize for that.
Technology, you gotta love it.
Wonderful.
All right. Heat Celtics game 2, Pelicans Thunder game 2. How do you see both those games on tomorrow night?
No Jimmy Butler. Boston easy. Honestly, you know what? I think the Pelicans might pull this one. It was close.
Yeah.
The last game was close. And I think they might have the nucleus to put that together to get that W. Because it was close.
Yeah.
I don't think the Heat culture is real, and I understand that, but I think Boston is just without no Jimmy Butler, it's just too much.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong on that. I definitely don't disagree with you on that. Just another recap of the scores real quick. It is still 2-0 Panthers over the Lightning after 1 period. Rangers and Capitals tied at 2 in the second at the Garden in Madison Square Garden. Jets and Avalanche in about an hour from now and about an hour and a half. Predators and Canucks, that's the Stanley Cup go-around. And again, one more time on the baseball scores. In the 6th, the Yankees are up 4-3 on the A's. Diamondbacks up now 4-1 on the Cardinals. That's in the 3rd. Pirates up 2-1 on the Brewers. That's in the 8th. 7-1 Reds over the Phillies in the 6th. Dodgers and Nationals tied at 1 in the 6th. Tigers and Rays, Tampa's up 2-1 in the 7th. Braves up 5-0 on the Marlins in the 6th. Twins down now trailing the White Sox 3-1 in the 4th. Cubs still up 5-0 on the Astros on the 3rd. That's on TBS for those who want to watch. Blue Jays up 1-0 on the Royals in the 3rd. Mariners up 2-0 on the Rangers in the 2nd. And final in Cleveland, break up the Cleveland Guardians. They beat the Red Sox 4-1. The Guardians off to a 17-6 start. Stephen Vogt doing some very good things up there with the Guardians in Cleveland. Mets and Giants in about an hour. Same with the Rockies and Padres about to get off in a few minutes. And in the nightcap, Baltimore in Anaheim against the Angels. So now we are 48 hours away from the NFL draft taking place in Detroit. The Chicago Bears on the clock. Well, if you want to be technical, it's 1 day, 22 hours, and 23 minutes for those that are on countdown for the NFL draft. Of course, we know the Chicago Bears are on the clock, which all intents purposes look like it's going to go towards Caleb Williams. For your beloved...
So are they...
Go ahead.
Are they really on the clock? So basically the Commanders are on the clock. Let's just be real.
Or who decides they want to trade up with the Commanders, which right now there's a lot of talk about possible swapping, trades, deals, a whole bunch of stuff. Right now, as of 23 minutes ago, the Arizona Cardinals are willing to trade the 4th pick. 4 teams are interested, but they will not trade until they're on the clock. Patriots say they have laughable offers for the 3rd pick. There's a lot of things going on. Talking about deals with the Chargers, deal with the Patriots, Commanders, the Cards. But for your beloved Silver and Black, obviously the talk has been, will they trade up? We know how Antonio Pierce feels about Jaden Daniels. What does your gut tell you about what your beloved Raiders might do in this draft? As far as the 1st round, that is.
And it's just, I still have a feeling that they will make a way to get Jaden Daniels. I feel that way. I don't think the Commanders are gonna take him. I think that's the smokescreen, because if you believe the media and all these outlets that's telling you that's where he's going, how many times have they got, oh, per se, the pick right?
You're not wrong.
We all know that money talks, picks talk.
Yes.
The Commanders get an outstanding offer, which I believe that if that's who they want, they'll go get it. And I believe they're ready to sell the farm to go get it. And I'm on board with that because I don't want no excuses. If you want them, that's confidence. Damn, go get it. Because I don't want no what ifs if they got Jay Daniels instead of the third. But that's just my gut. I feel that's going to happen. But I honestly, in the back of my mind, think it's going to end up being Michael Penix Jr.
Hello and welcome to the show. Thank you for chiming in. How are you? Appreciate you chiming in and giving us some feedback. I'm just here so I don't get fined. That's a great screen name. And if you're really Marshawn Lynch, then by God, welcome. So,
Right.
okay, so if you believe it ends up being Michael Penix Jr., now you did mention this on one of our editions of the Mizzle and Dove Show, which you can catch on the Mizzle and Dove Show channel on YouTube. And newsflash, spoiler alert, you might get a show from us tonight also. So you might get double the Mizzle and Dove Show. You never know. Just stay tuned. Anyhow, so you said that you were okay with Michael Penix if it came to that. Why so?
Well, it's also because he is the type of quarterback that
What's up, Big Knox? How are you, buddy?
because he's only one of the other players that fits what the structure of the Raiders are trying to go. He can throw the deep ball, he can get out the pocket, he can create on the run, and he's pretty much careful with the ball per se. I think that's the only thing that you might be concerned about is his
The knees.
injury.
The knees.
But
Yes.
what player does not come in injured?
That's true too.
You know.
That's true too. You're not wrong.
You're going to have an injury history. Some you may not know about because they may not report it.
Mm-hmm.
But there's nobody completely 110% healthy. So I will be okay with that. And plus, he's battle tested, which is what AP has been talking about. So if you listen to what AP has been saying, Jaden Daniels fits that because AP has history with
There's
it.
history, yes, obviously, yeah.
Penix Jr. fits the mold that he says that he wants a mobile quarterback, one that's been battle tested, that can go through adversity, which he's already facing
Yes, he
adversity right
has.
now, which is also his medical history. So, and he has a desire to win. So I'll take that.
Well,
I'll take that.
Considering that you guys only have 8 picks this year in the draft, so obviously it has to be the right person, but obviously you have a very good GM that has found tremendous talent over the years in Inglewood, being the Chargers GM. Again, GM just drafts and just drafts the players. It takes the coaches to coach them. But as far as finding talent, Tom Telesco has not been too shabby in finding talent. So their team needs, according to NFL.com, they're saying quarterback, offensive line, and perhaps another wide receiver. What would you say is the biggest need for the Silver and Black?
Right tackle. Right tackle.
Sounds like my football team. Well, the whole right side of the offensive line needs help.
Yeah, right tackle. And another solid corner. That, well, of course, the most desired need is the quarterback. We're not gonna lie. We don't have. I mean, we have you know what? I'm okay with Gardner Minshew. Now, can he probably guide us to the Super Bowl? Probably not. Will he get you those games, those tough, gutted out games to where you need him to make either that right throw or to use his legs? Yes, it's been proven. He did it in Jacksonville. He has done it in Indianapolis. It's just Gardner is just a pretty good, serviceable quarterback. So I'm okay if they don't get the quarterback right in the when it's needed. I mean, this draft is pretty good with quarterbacks. I mean, there's some developmental quarterbacks. You got some day one starters right now, but you can get it. So if we don't get Jaden Daniels or we don't feel comfortable with Michael Penix, okay, cool. But get the needs. It's the offensive line needs to be showed up. You need to get another dominant corner to go with Jack Jones. Okay. if you're going to need to draft a linebacker, because most of the linebackers we have now, their contract is going to be up at the end of the year. I mean, the back end is pretty okay. Epps is okay. Mork is okay. Nate Hobbs is going to be a solid slot corner. So just this draft is perfect to get kind of the pieces to build in the future if you're not going to pick up some of these players as contracts is going to be ended. And of course, pick up a running back. Definitely pick up a running back. We don't want to abuse Zeus too much, even though I think he can handle the load. But the way Telesco said, it's going to be a running back by committee. So that means you need to also draft a running back.
Of course, we talk about Phoenix having no bench, and they're up now 49-44 with 3:15 towards the half as the T-Wolves just made. I really love the fact that they're going back to the old school original T-Wolf jerseys and colors tonight for this playoff game.
Right. Logo with the logo on the
yes.
The old, it takes you back to when you were a kid watching basketball.
Oh yeah, it takes you back to Isaiah. Kevin Garnett, Isaiah Ryder. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. In my case, as I said, the Niners need a whole right side of the offensive line, need a right guard, need a right tackle. Certainly need help in the secondary because you need someone to complement Tre'Davious Ward. And now with this Dre Greenlaw injury, you might have to find a linebacker to take that spot until Greenlaw is healthy and he's ready to play. They have 10 picks, one of the first, one of the second, one of the third. Normally, the fourth and fifth round is where they find their gems. They got 3 fourth-round picks, 1 fifth, 2 sixth, and a seventh. Also, before that, want to give flowers to Matt Ryan, who officially called it a career yesterday. 16 seasons in the NFL, 15 with Atlanta, 1 with Indianapolis, of course. Won the 2016 MVP for the Falcons in guiding them to Super Bowl 51. We don't need to say what happened in that game because we all know what happened in that game. But nonetheless, certainly was the guy that kind of took away the sting when Michael Vick went away and made the Falcons very, very relevant for a very, very, very long time. Pretty much made them a playoff perennial team, seemingly felt like every year. So kudos to Matt Ryan. A very solid, distinguished NFL career. Certainly gave the Falcons some very good years in the NFL with consistency. So kudos, Matt Ryan. Solid career. Congratulations. And now he can do the CBS thing full time, doing football for CBS.
And he's doing good in that position.
Yes,
too,
he is.
So.
He seems to be a natural fit. No question. No question about that. Now, I wanted to get your comments real quickly on yesterday because earlier I had talked about how Aaron Boone basically got thrown out for saying nothing but just looking stoic. Is that today's umpiring or refereeing today in sports to where you can just get thrown out for not even saying a word?
I can't remember what I was watching. Oh, it was one of the times that I was watching Around the Horn, which I do not like that show at all, but I was preparing for PTI.
Yes.
And Monica McNutt was like, can we get some umpires that are not sensitive? You know, can we get some umpires that can take their sensitivity out of the game? And I was like, I can agree with that. But then someone also asked, could that be reviewable? Because clearly he did not say nothing. New York saw that as well.
Mm-hmm.
So how come New York could not step in and be like, no, that was not him. It was the fan. Like there's fans get kicked out in the NBA when they say something like that, right? They find out, point it out.
The players point them out. The players point them out, and it's get out of here. You're bye.
How?
Because I know for a fact if a fan tries to reach over for a foul ball, and they grab the foul ball but they fall into the field of play, they're out. Even though they're not necessarily interfering in fair play because it's a foul ball. But the rule is if you fall onto the field trying to get a foul ball, you will get kicked out of the game. And that's been the rule. It's going to be hard now because obviously there's, nets around home plate and down the first and third baseline. So it's not much of a big deal anymore trying to reach for a foul ball because of the netting. But back in the old days, that was the rule. You lean over for a foul ball, you lean over to the field of play, you get kicked out of the stadium. Right, wrong, or indifferent. But and I hate going back to our day when we were younger, but referees used to have thicker skin back then, or they would let you get your point across, and they'd be like, "Okay, shut up, you got your point, game on." But it's like, one simple thing is like, you know what? Okay, you're out. I don't get it, or you get technical foul. I don't get it. Howbeiver,
Well, that's MLB's fault because then they implement the rule right now that you can't argue balls and strikes.
no. That rule's been there for a while. I mean that. Here's the thing.
I guess they're enforcing it more now than they did when we were growing up. They used to let the coach used to come out there to kick the dirt up and argue and this, that, and the third. But I guess since they're trying to make baseball quicker and faster, we have no time for that. So we're going to implement it a little bit more.
But here's my thing, and big man, you're not wrong on that. It is probably it is in all sports. You're not wrong about that, big man. You're not wrong about that at all. But here's my thing. Okay. And of course, as we know, baseball's my thing. Managers know when they're going to go get ejected.
Yeah, it's on purpose.
It's on purpose.
Yeah.
Especially if they're defending their player, especially if he's a rookie. He's going to defend him, and he's going to take the bullet for his player. Or anybody, because we don't argue balls and strikes, but they argue balls and strikes. But the manager is going to get his argument out on purpose and get thrown out. Sometimes it sparks the team, sometimes it doesn't. But that's the manager defending his player and defending his team. Howbeiver, you can clearly see it. You can see it on the NBC California feed. You can see it on the Yes feed. Aaron Boone is clearly saying nothing after Wendelstedt, and again, like I said. Harry Wendelstedt, Harvey's dad. Harry Wendelstedt was a very well-respected Major League umpire for a very, very, very long time. And I don't know, and I don't think his dad would have done that per se, because obviously umpires back in the day were a different breed also in baseball. But it's just, but then again, anything is possible if Angel Hernandez still has his doggone job, to which everybody in sports is wondering, how is he still employed by Major League Baseball?
No idea. That's the worst umpire.
And I don't. I'm not an umpiring expert, but I think I can call balls and strikes better than he can. Because I'm just like, what are you seeing?
Yeah.
But what do I know? Yeah. I just do multiple sports shows with people I love. So what do I know? I know nothing. Anyhow, did he con us? Did he play us? Or was this all part of a perfect plan? Because Saturday, a fight took place, and Devin Haney had no answer for Ryan Garcia's left hook.
You said Diddy so much, I thought you were talking about P. Diddy.
Well, there is that picture of him and Diddy hanging out shirtless at a Diddy house party. Now, don't know how long ago that was with Mr. Haney and Mr. Combs, but
they showed a picture of Haney laying on the mat, all twisted up, and they said Garcia and Diddy both had him in this position.
Oh, buddy. Oh, baby.
Oh, we went there.
Oh, he went there. Oh,
I mean, I just read the memes.
Hey.
I was more towards aiming. The internet went there.
Well, the internet stays undefeated for a reason. But no, Ryan Garcia, despite the fact that he was 3 pounds overweight, ends up missing out on a title, but nonetheless, shows why he still has one of the best left hooks in the game, as he knocked down Devin Haney 3 times, once in the 7th, once in the 10th, and once in the 11th round. Knox, you are a fool for that. I don't know if he was able to learn Espanol.
I don't know if he was able to comprehend anything.
That's funny.
That might be one of the best comments we've ever had on this show. No lie. He learned something. He learned how to speak left hook in Spanish, because, I mean...
That's 100%. I'll take that.
But I will say this. In the 7th round... Oh. No. Oh, that meme. Oh, buddy.
That's a cold piece of work right there.
Whoever invented memes, I hope you are a multi-billionaire right about now, because
somebody
somebody is making dough, because to have the time to make memes like that, you are an absolute pure genius. But got the Ryan Garcia got the majority decision. One was a draw, and I forgot what the other score on the judges' cards were. But I mean, the 3 knockdowns definitely helped. But I go back.
You call it with 3 knockdowns? I'm sorry, that's confusing.
Say that again.
How do you manage to see a draw with 3 knockdowns?
Well, I mean, in the first part of the fight, Devin Haney was boxing beautifully, and it looked
that,
like.
But how do you make that out as a draw when there's, because don't the point value go down when you get
normally
knocked
if you knock somebody down, it's normally a 10-8 round. But then again, you and I can judge a boxing match better than what these judges are looking at, because I mean, how many times have you and I watched a boxing match and we see like a 118, 110 score, and we're like, what are you watching? Like, I'm not at ringside. I'm watching from a TV on the confines of my couch, but I can clearly see who won the fight, and you did not. Because how can you come up with a 118, 110 score? What are you seeing that I'm not? Like, please.
I got 4 eyes.
Like, please, what are you smoking? And is it some of the best? Is it from the Mike Tyson Ranch? Because I want to know.
It got to be the edibles.
Because is it making you go spinal? I don't know. However, what do you think is next for both fighters after this fight that took place on Saturday night?
I don't know, man. It's tough. That's tough. Do we get a rematch with Tank and Garcia?
But do we really want to see that? But do we really want to see that again?
I mean, but like you said, did he just pull the okie doke on us, and you think he can handle Tank now just by taking out Haney?
Well, I mean, he did. He did ask to run it back against.
Or do we get Shakur Stevenson and Garcia? Or do we get Shakur Stevenson and Haney?
Well, I do know one thing: Haney does not want that smoke with Tank, because Tank will hurt him.
Well, if he couldn't handle Garcia, then he definitely ain't gonna handle Tank, because Tank could take a punch and still drop you. So, so I don't know if he wants that.
But if Devin Haney knew that Garcia only had that left hook, then why did he keep getting hit by that left hook? Because
you blame his champion.
Well, I mean,
blame his trainer. Blame everybody that didn't prepare for it.
You're right. He didn't take notes, and obviously his daddy was doing too much talking for him. Because I mean, what Garcia did was, in a sense, psychological warfare to get Haney to get off his game, and it showed. Because if you go back to round 7, the first time he got knocked out, Haney's legs were shot, and if Garcia did not hit him in the back of the head, or if he didn't rabbit punch him to where he got a point taken off, he possibly could have finished Haney in round 7.
So I forgot about that. He got a point taken away.
Correct.
How did it still become a draw? How was it still a draw?
You would have to ask the New York State Athletic Commission for that, since the fight was held in Brooklyn, New York. Because I don't know. All right.
I didn't see a draw. And anybody that was sitting here in my house, they didn't see a draw.
All right.
They saw that Garcia was doing his business.
Okay, so hold on here. No.
Have Diddy ringside. I am done. I'm done.
Knox, you're on fire, buddy. You are on fire. I don't know. I don't know if Brooklyn would even allow Diddy to be at ringside at Barclays. You might get booed out the building.
That man is banned.
All right, so looks like Boots Ennis will have his first matchup under the Eddie Hearn banner against Cody Crowley.
Can we get that in Bud Crawford, please? Can before they get too old, can we get that?
Well, Bud is fighting. He's fighting August the 3rd on
Hey, what's that Snoop Dogg meme? Who?
Bud is fighting. Hold on, I just had the doggone thing. He is fighting Israel Martimov for a title. I don't know if it's for some guy named Israel. Okay.
Do you know who this guy is?
Never heard of his name a day in my life.
Like I told TG, I'm like, well, I'm glad somebody stepped up to fight Bud Crawford to take an L. Nobody else ain't trying to do it. I mean, this is almost going back to when he was trying to ask people to fight him or pay people to fight him. It's ridiculous.
Well, it looks like this fight will be taking place in Saudi Arabia, in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Same place where Usyk and Mr. Fury will go for the unification of the World Heavyweight Championship.
That's gonna be it.
That is going to be a good fight.
Yes.
But nonetheless, just to recap one more time, right now at the half, it is 51-50. Suns up 1 on the Timberwolves. In Milwaukee, it is the Pacers and Bucks. Bucks are up 26-23 as that's going late in the first period. And, of course, Clippers and Mavericks at the 7 o'clock hour on TNT. In the NHL, one last time before we put a bow on a wrap on this one. After 2 periods inside the Mecca, the Rangers are up 4-2 on the Capitals. And in the Battle of Florida, it is the Lightning and Panthers 2-2. That's in the second period, of course. Jets and Avalanche in under 30 minutes. Avalanche and Jets under 30 minutes. And the Predators and the Canucks at 7 on ESPN2. Again, don't forget, the Mizzle Dub Show will be doing a live NFL draft show this upcoming Thursday on night 1 during the draft. If you'd like to come on, reach out to the 2 men you see on screen. And again, we encourage you to wear your team colors, but we just ask one thing. Please be coherent because we want to know how you feel about your team's draft picks or who they should draft, where they should draft, so on and so forth, and if we will talk about trades or not. Quan, what do you think our beloved Niners have to do in this draft? Where should they go heavy on the draft picks?
O-line and secondary.
You're not wrong. You are definitely not
But not
wrong.
much. We're going to win it, so it doesn't matter.
You're gonna excuse me. You're gonna win games, right? Are you
Yeah, we're going to win
the Super Bowl?
games. We're going to win. We're going to go 14-3, and then we're going to not lose another game till the next season.
Brother, I applaud your confidence. Still question for 6.
Write it down. 423-24. Hashtag Quastradamus.
4 years. 4 years now that y'all
Raiders
been
are on a
questioning
quest for 6 wins
you know
this
what?
year.
Hey,
So
you know what? Raider fans, we as a fan, we want to win the Super Bowl, but we don't feel like how you Niner fans.
well,
We're
it's
going
because
to,
you're
like you
never
said,
close to the
going
Super
to.
Bowl. That's why. When you're close every year
can lead
and
a
you
horse
actually
to
make
water,
the
but you can't make
playoffs,
that
it's a
bad
lot
mistake,
easier
right?
to have hope in your team win the Super Bowl. When you don't even
Hey,
when you're 4th and 3rd in your
Hey.
division every year, it's kind of hard to have that
I
hope.
understand it. Keep living for that disappointment.
Yeah, keep looking for that quarterback.
I love it.
No, I actually want. I'm born and raised in Vegas, so I'm Raiders are my second team. So I want them to do well.
That is horrible. That is horrible.
I really want them to. Well, I'm from Vegas, so I wasn't in that Bay Area rivalry with the Raiders and Niners. So
Understand.
when they moved out here, I mean they were they were my second favorite team when Bo Jackson and Willie Gauld and all them played.
Oh,
Tim
Willie
Brown.
Gauld. What a name.
Okay. Wait a minute. Okay.
I'm old,
I
bro.
might have to. I have to give you a pass with that one
Marcus
because a lot of
Allen.
Raider fans don't know that Willie Gault. Man, I'm telling you. Okay.
Oh, no,
Willie
that
Gauld-
was a squad back
Willie
then.
Gault was a very fast man for
Late
those that
80s.
don't know.
Yeah.
And he's also
Hey, he was
and he's
James-
also
hey,
an
he was
Olympic gold
James
medalist.
Jett before James Jett.
Yeah, and he was also an Olympic gold medalist. Ran with Carl Lewis on the 84 squad in Los Angeles.
Yep.
For those that need
Okay.
for those that need their history lesson for today. Anyhow,
I'll reserve myself on how approach you about your question. still hold on to that though.
nonetheless, the Chicago Bears are on the clock per se. Some might say the Commanders are on the clock, but no,
You're on the clock, bro.
the Commies are on the clock. Anyhow, special thanks to my brother from another, Raymond Missile Mason, for joining me, holding it down while
you.
Chris is on assignment.
Thank you and Chris for allowing me to come over here and do this, man. This is an honor. Straight up.
And like I said, you might get a double dose of Mizzle and Dub tonight. Check us out on the Mizzle and Dub Show channel on YouTube. You might get a second show to where we might explore more about this draft and maybe have some guests on. You don't know. Reach out to Mizzle myself. Thank you for those that commented. Thank you to Knox. Thank you to Will Franklin. Thank you to Quan59 as always for holding it down and not making me look so extra shiny with chicken grease. But you guys enjoy the rest of your week. Be safe. Take care of yourself and each other. And hopefully Chris will be back next week to where we can dissect what happened in the NFL draft. But in the meantime, enjoy the rest of your evening, and we will see you next Tuesday. Just two guys talking smash. Guys, take care of yourself. God bless.